Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I'm here to bring you a live paper crafting class. It is Wednesday, March 27th, 2024, as I'm coming to you live. And today I'm sharing with you a fun technique that has become quite popular. I've been seeing this technique pop up on cards all over the place. It's called Blackout Embossing. And I'll be using a variety of embossing folders just to introduce you to the technique. I'll be introducing you to some inks and some papers, and I don't have all of them listed. YouTube did not allow me to add all of those products to the product list when I was adding those in my description this morning. If you're watching live on YouTube, welcome. Trisha Josephs is with us as our moderator. Once again, thank you, Trisha, for being our moderator on YouTube. And the description does contain most of the supplies that I'm sharing today. If you're watching on Facebook, well, welcome to all of you on Facebook. Lisa Marshall is moderating there. And I do not have that information in the description of the video because the video goes live and then boom, I have to have somebody transferred over and I'm only one person. So here's what you can do if you really want to get a list of those products. If you go to the events section of my page, you can find a list of the products. What I do is I copy and paste what's in the description of the YouTube video, and I do this every week. I've been doing this for, oh gosh, months, years, but I keep forgetting to tell you. Anyways, if you go to the events section, you can find the list of supplies there if you want to know what they are while we're doing the live. So on that note, I hope that you're all sitting back and ready to enjoy. I hope that you'll get some inspiration from all of this. This is fun, and there's like so many avenues that you can go with this technique. I'll also be introducing to you some newer products that are not ready to go live until May 1st for the customer base, but you can get the starter kit in May and add these things to your starter kit. Just saying. Okay, so let's go ahead and go down to the desktop. Oh, one other thing. I am sharing 2 full cards towards the end of this, and those cards are going to be in 2 separate blog posts. I do not have the blog posts ready yet, and I've been flying by the seat of my pants ever since I came back from on stage a week and a half ago. So I'm just saying, it's not ready yet. But when those links are ready, I will put them in the description of the video so that you can go see the photos. You can download a PDF, informational PDF, that sort of thing. I plan to post one today, later on today, and then the other one in a couple days, 2 to 3 days, okay? So let's get started. Actually, let's get started with doing some die cutting and embossing. So I'm going to bring the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in, and when you get the machine, just so you know, oops, get ready for the loud sounds, sorry about that. When you get the machine, it comes like this. It's not as dirty, and it has these little platforms that pull out. There's a large version like this. This is the Big Boss, and then there's the Mini Boss, and they both are kind of set up the same way. You have your your platform, and then your die adapter plate, your cutting mats. You have 2 of them. Oops, 1, 2. Boy, I'm making lots of noise here. And then there's this 3D embossing plate adapter, okay? So let's start with that one first. I want to show you how gorgeous 3D embossing folders are. If you're new to the paper crafting world, you are going to be wowed just in this next moment, okay? So a 3D embossing folder basically is this nice plastic folder that you stick your paper into, and we're gonna go, sorry, I have a little embellishment on my, little bit of stuff on there. Okay, so we're gonna go this way and we're gonna emboss the paper, and we're gonna feed it into our rollers that are inside this machine. We're gonna feed it in with the seam part first. So nothing on the platform except for your folder and paper that's stuck in between. You're going to ignore these plates here, the cutting mat and the die adapter, and you're going to bring in the 3D plate, and that you can put on top. All right, so that's the sandwich. And then you take the handle and you crank on it while you feed this in, and once it's fed, then you hold on to the top and you keep on cranking the handle. You can be left-handed or right-handed, depending on what's your preference. Then when you open this up, watch you guys, this is so cool. Isn't this the best one, you guys? This is the Layered Florals 3D embossing folder. So take a peek at what it does to the paper. Just think where we were like 10, 15, 20 years ago in paper crafting. I mean, this is amazing stuff that we can do with a handy little machine like this and some plastic folders. So 3D basically means that they're very deeply embossed, okay? Embossed means kind of raised, right? Debossed means it's going the other way. At least that's what we're using in the paper crafting industry. So I'm going to turn it on to its debossed side. We're going to work with the debossed side. Let's move that folder aside for a minute. That is going to be one of our stars here. And let's pull in some dies. These dies are new. They are the Spotlight on Nature dies. And you get 12, so 3 sets of 4. I have a few of them pulled off right now, and you can see the different styles on them. We're gonna die cut now. So we're gonna take our die adapter, put that onto our platform, and then we'll take all of our scrap pieces here. Oops, not yet. Cutting plate. We need our cutting plate. Sorry, let's do that. And then we'll add these. And we're just gonna set them up so that they're kind of all spread out here. Oh, I should have cut one of these down. We'll go like, you know what we'll do? We'll take a scissors, quickly cut. We'll make one of these shorter. There we go. Because we want to get these all done at once. So we have 1, 2, 3, and you don't want to layer them on top of each other, just so you know. Okay, let's take our other cutting plate, and I like to use my cleaner one on top until my bottom one gets all nice and scratchy, and then I toss it away because sometimes they're very unusable, although you can find videos out there where people show you how to replenish those. Okay, and we're just going to crank this through. There we go. That was a tough one. All right, so I've cut out my circles. They're all coming out of here, as you can see, and if I flip them over, you can take a peek at what they look like. So I cut them out of my scraps. I'm going to put my scraps aside. Put that one there. And then we're going to move the machine aside, and we're going to remove the dies from here. This machine we're going to probably bring back in, possibly for some more embossing, so I'm just going to have that ready. It's technique day, you guys. You got to be patient with me. Okay, so let's take a peek at these dies. Do you see this one? I'm going to pull out some scrap paper here. We'll just pull it out in color scrap paper. These little tiny pieces of paper inside there. Now you can pull it away, but look at, there's still the paper inside there. Look at the beautiful design that creates. Isn't that gorgeous? So we want that one over there, and we're going to grab our die brush little adapter thing that you can put on your take your pick tool, and we're just going to brush over the top. There is a foam mat that comes with this too, and I just never use it. I don't know why, but you're supposed to put it underneath and then use your die brush to, yeah, anyways, it helps to, the foam helps to hold all the scraps in, but I guess I like confetti. So yeah, I'm making confetti and it's going all over my table. But most of it got contained right here. So you can see that, and then we can just toss that into our garbage. All right, so that's one of the dies, and then we have these two, and they make this fun little stitched outside edge. And that one goes on this side of the room, and this one's gonna go on the other side of the room. Mossy Meadow, Parakeet Party, and Basic White Cardstock. So we're going to slip these back onto our magnetic sheets, put them in our envelopes. These are from Stampin' Storage, by the way. If you go to my favorite extras on my website, you can find links for those items. Okay, what else? We're going to feature 2 stamp sets during this. Layering Leaves, of course, and Unbounded Love, which is a super cool new stamp set. This one also is not available until May 1st. Or April, for those people who want to get this in their starter kit. Unbounded Love, gorgeous. It's photopolymer. The images are actually bigger than you see here, quite bigger. And you've got insides and outsides for your cards. It's a gorgeous stamp set. And then Layering Leaves. Okay, so let us pull in this paper. We're just going to go ahead and dive into the technique. This is the technique that most people do. And I'm grabbing some scrap paper just because we're gonna get messy. As you can see from here, these are kind of like experimental pieces of paper. Again, I don't have a PDF to share with you, not quite yet, but it will be downloadable for each card. One today, this card that we're doing now, and then one on Friday or Saturday, okay? And a happy Easter to all of you. Okay, so let's bring in some colors. Let us, Rachel's gonna take a peek at her cheating card over here, the one that, okay, so we need some brushes, and I like to store my brushes in the Tailored Expressions containers that Stampin' Storage has. And these are Stampin' Up brushes, and then these are the containers from Stampin' Storage. Again, my favorite extras, in case you're wondering. I already have pulled some out. I've got one of my small blending brushes in Bubble Bath. I've got a larger one in Lemon Lolly. Love these new colors, you guys. And then I'm also going to pull in some Lemon Lolly Blends markers, Parakeet Party Blends markers, and we've got a couple other inks that are going to be top layer inks. So when you're doing the blackout embossing technique, basically what you're doing is you're adding color to an embossed image, or, and you'll see in the future, you can already have color and then emboss it. But anyways, you've got a colored layer underneath with embossing, and then you're going to, or debossing, and then you're going to put another darker color over the top of it. This is what we're going to do for the darker color, okay? All right, I'm going to get messy too, so I'm also going to bring in some tissue. Thank you, Lisa, for posting the link for the favorite extras. I appreciate that. Okay, so here we go. This is what we do. And I wasn't a fan of this at first. I was like, this embossing folder, even though people are using, like this is the most popular one Stampin' Up product-wise that people are tending to gravitate towards, but I wasn't a fan of it because when you emboss and then you add the color, like I'm making these little magnolia flowers, I think they're magnolias, I don't know. When you add the color within the debossed image, you get this very fuzzy look, but I had to keep in mind that that top surface, that fuzzy area that's sitting on the raised areas, is gonna get covered up. So I just kept going. In fact, I even did a side-by-side sheet, and I'll show you what I mean about that in a minute. So I took and grabbed a piece of paper that was similar in size, and then I took my same colors and I estimated where they were on my paper. Because I was like, I don't like that fuzzy look. So I just kept going with it. And I did the same thing. And I did that all over, estimating where my flowers would lie. Okay, do you see what I'm doing there? I'm kind of making that same look. And then after doing all the blending brush stuff, we're going to do this with two colors. I took and embossed this in approximately the same area on the embossing folder. You'll see the results of that soon. So we're going to keep going with this. And, oh, that one got a little dark, but that's okay. We'll just darken the rest. I want to thank Lydia Fiedler from oh gosh, I can't remember the website. It's one that's really popular, you guys, and everybody used to go to it all the time. And it's not like, I mean, it's still a great place to go, but we have all these other resources now. Lydia Fiedler. Anyways, thank you, dear, for giving a little tutorial on, is this something connection? I can't remember. Oh, I have it on my computer here. Split Coast Stampers. Remember Split Coast Stampers, you guys? Who's still going to Split Coast Stampers? It's a great resource for tutorials. Okay, so, and then I also want to thank demonstrators who had been posting some great imagery of their cards in like demonstrator only areas. I want to thank Teresa Glow and Joanne Pollock, who are demonstrators in my team, who have been posting cards. Teresa even brought her fun samples over to me. Sorry, I'm holding this up in the light to make sure I get the pink areas. Here's another one. All right, now let's move on to the yellow. But anyways, just thank you so much to all of you who have really, like the first card I saw, I wanted to do it, and then they kept exploding everywhere. So if you haven't seen videos on this yet, I hope that this one inspires you, and I hope you take a peek at what else is out there. We're opening up Lemon Lolly, and I probably could have had like a smaller little blending brush for this, but I don't. So we're just gonna go real light and just touch in the centers of these tinier flowers. I kind of want them to pop with a little bit of yellow. And you'll also see, and it'll kind of frustrate you at first, that when you're adding this color, it's kind of sitting more on the surface instead of going deep into the areas. But if you press hard enough, you're gonna transfer some of that lemon color into the petals of the flower instead of just on the outsides, okay? So trust me. I don't have any extra smaller brushes, but I would encourage you to invest in those for this type of technique because you can really get into smaller spaces with the smaller brushes. Alrighty, so we have hit on most of those flowers. Now I want to accent the insides of the flowers. I'm going to close this up, put these aside. We'll stick them over here for now because our table is going to become a mess. And split coat stampers, yay, Kim loves it too. What color was the pink she just used? It was Bubble Bath. Loretta, sorry about that. I might not have said that. We have a couple colors in each of the blends. They come in pairs, light and dark. So I'm gonna take the tip that is like the bullet tip, and I'm gonna zoom in, you guys. Sorry, you could be seeing this better if I was closer. And I'm gonna take the ones that are tinier and color in with the lighter ones. So all my tinier flowers are gonna have the lighter one just because in my mind, they're further back. They're going further back in the scene if we have depth to it, right? So those are all gonna get light. We'll do another one here. Then we'll come back with our other darker one, and this will just kind of make those come forward more because they're darker. So there's our larger flowers getting our darker yellow. Super simple to do, you guys. You do not have to be an artist to do this technique. Oops, I forgot one back there. We'll do that one light. There's a tiny little one over there. And it's so relaxing, right? How many of you love to color? It's so relaxing. It's like therapeutic to just sit and add color to images. Okay, there was that little one, which I didn't add any yellow. But that's okay, like the blending brush, it's totally fine. Because they're mostly white anyways with just a touch of yellow on them. All right, now we're gonna go on to our green. This is Parakeet Party. This is a color that is leaving us soon. So when you're looking at the last chance lists that you can access from my website, down at the bottom of any blog post, you can access the last chance information or any other promotional information. Right now, the last chance products are not indicated on the shop page of stampinup.com. You cannot find the last chance things listed yet because they're not on sale. You can identify products that are retiring soon. They say retiring soon or whatever, but they're not in one great little category. On April 9th, some of those items are going to go on sale and you'll be able to see them all kind of clustered into one area. So if you're interested to wait until then, you can, but sometimes things like the markers or the colors or whatever, the things that are retiring that are super popular, consumables, inks, and that kind of thing, you want to get in on those sooner than later. You don't want to wait. All right, so we're going to take each of these leaves and we're just going to go through and color completely in with our lighter of our two colors. We're using Parakeet Party again, and I'm just doing the leaves with them. I'm trying not to go into any flower areas, but I can go over the edges. So watch what happens. I can go there and it's going to be just fine. We're not going to worry about that. Just try not to go into the petals of your flowers that are right next door to them. Okay, just stay in your leaf area. There's even some unique little leaves that are coming off the tiny flowers. So you'll want to grab those. Don't want to forget those. Let's take and color that one in. All right, there's another one. So after we've done this, and you can use the bullet tip, there's 2 tips, remember, on your markers. You can use the bullet tip or you can use the brush tip like I'm doing. I am a brush tip fan, except when it comes to small little flower centers like I shared with you. Anything that is a leaf on this embossing folder either has these lines on it like that. You can see the lines coming out from the base of the flower. Or you can see on this one the typical lines on the leaf where it's one straight line through the middle with little veins coming off the sides. All right, let's grab that one. Let's grab that one. We just have a few more left. Can't wait to introduce you to even more embossing folders because 3D embossing folders are huge. They are a big deal right now. Most companies have them. And Stampin' Up! Is definitely showing off some really beautiful ones lately. So this is the, what is it called again? Layered Florals. You'll see in my product list in the video description that I've also listed some other folders because those are ones that I am going to show you samples of. Looks like we have another leaf here. Now after we've done this, you know that I have 2 colors. I have my dark and I have my light blends. Oops, we have a couple more over here. So the next step after you do your light is to come in with your dark. And we're just gonna touch the base of the leaves with our dark. We're gonna give it kind of a 3D look, right? That's kind of what you're doing with your blending brush too, is you're giving it a 3D look by doing that faded dark to light color on those petals. So it's a fun way to just give depth, even more depth to an embossed image, right? How can you give it more depth? With color. All right, so we're just coming in and doing the base. And what I mean by the base is you're gonna go the closest that you can to the flower base or where the flower begins. All right, that one is there. And if you go outside the lines, it's okay. All the stuff that is raised up, kind of like the background that is raised on this, because remember we're using the debossed side, all of that is going to get covered up with a top layer of ink, and that is called the Blackout Embossed technique. So we don't have to worry about that too much. I'm sure I could have done a couple other leaves over here, but we're gonna just keep going. All right, and then we have one here. So we have touched on all of those leaves. They're already starting to blend. This one's actually colored in from that side. They're already starting to blend into the lighter green, but if you come back with the lighter green and you just do a slight swirly motion right where they connect, you're gonna see even better of a blend of color. And I know that seems weird right now, but they will blend very nicely real soon. And I'm really just doing a kind of like a scribbly kind of motion. It's not really intense or artistic. It's just trying to give those 2 inks kind of a combination look, so dark to light. Alrighty. And we're probably not going to cover the whole surface real precisely, but you get the idea, and you can get more detailed on it if you want to. All right, so now that we've got that done, it looks like a total mess, right? Not real pretty. But we're going to now, and we'll just fold this the other way. This is the regular grid paper, and this is the in color grid paper that's leaving us. It's in like all 5 of those beautiful colors, you guys. Cash in on it, it's good stuff. All right, I'm gonna grab some tissue, and I'm gonna grab my darker inks. It is suggested that you use foam, that's the word, that you use foam pads. This is a felt surface. You can see it's got like this little stitching, not stitching, but you can see the fibers on it. When you use this type of pad versus a foam pad, you're going to get, it's not gonna be as intense of color. So watch what happens. You're gonna start with your pad, and you're just gonna kind of come in from the side or the middle, and you're gonna sweep across. And I'm trying to lay my pad as flat as I can, but you can see those lines from the fibers of the pad. Can you see that? And you're all like, oh my gosh, she's ruining it. Well, this is the only black that we carry right now that would work with this really. I mean, you could use the other one, but then you'll have an issue with the blends markers kind of interacting with the inks, the alcohol inks that we use. Let's bring in the basic gray. Basic gray is very similar to black, although it's definitely a dark gray. We're just gonna go over the top and I'm gonna start to pull. And can you see a difference already of the two different sides? This is a very smooth addition of color. So you just come in with your pad, and I'm turning it so that the edge is closer to the edge of my pad here. And I'm using that side. Oh, and my hands are gonna get dirty. We better use this. Okay, and then you just swipe across. And you can swipe from top to bottom, like, you know, you can go like this, however it feels comfortable to you. You will use up some ink on this blackout step, so you may need to make sure that you have re-inkers for your pads in line. It's like magic, I know. The picture is, I like the word you chose there, Lisa. It's blooming. Oops. The picture is blooming. And if you aren't careful and you don't try to use more of like the edge of the pad, even though you're trying to keep it straight, and you have it completely flat on there, the ink will start to soak down into your image, and then you won't have that blackout technique showing up. You have to have it just angled slightly so that you can slide it. Okay, we're almost done. And this is just the gray, so it's gonna start to lighten a little bit. When it goes on, it's dark and deep. Most of our colors are darker and deeper when you first add them, but when you pull them away for a while, they start to lighten just a little bit. Is that gorgeous or what, you guys? I love it. Okay, it's worth the time and effort. Okay, let's do some educating here with some other samples, and then we're gonna put together a card. So let me pull those in. Let's actually we'll start with this one. So this is the one where I said I did the coloring off on the side first, and then I embossed. But I'll tell you, I do like the depth of color that I got from when I did this, right? It gives it more of an intense pink when you really have to push into the debossed parts. You may not see that very well on the video, sorry about that, but it does look really soft on this. And here you can see the difference between the gray dried and the gray still kind of wet. This is similar to what I did here, except I didn't do the yellow on the flowers, and I didn't really add, no, I used, you know what I used? I used blending brushes to add green lemon lime twist ink to the leaves. So I only did dots of little lemon lolly blends markers in the centers, and then I used the, and I had a little post-it note that I threw off to the side, and I used bubble bath ink for, you know, same color, the pink, and I guess I did use Granny and Parakeet Party for the blending brushes. Okay, so those were blending brushes ones. Those were not blends markers like the intense green on this piece. This was blends markers for the leaves. This was blending brushes and pads for the leaves on those. All right, the next one. We'll put that there. Okay, so there are some, oh, here's one. This one here, I used Lemon Lime Twist and Bubble Bath for the base colors. This was like the first one I did. And then I put, instead of black on the top, I used Berry Burst. So you don't have to use black on top or a dark gray or whatever. You do get a little bit more pop. I've always said this, whenever you put colors on top of black, they just really, really pop, right? Black or white surfaces, your colors will just pop because they won't be distracted by other colors that are competing with attention. Here you have the Berry Burst, so you're gonna have that pinkish tone to the rest of your design. Re-inker time, yes. So that is that one. Then we have, pull the rest of these over here. This one was kind of fun. This was using the embossing folder Eucalyptus and this little spray here. So you get two embossing folders that are 3D in here. But I think I would have done this in different colors and then done black just to really, for the background, just to really make like this colorful spray pop. But this was another one of my original first ones, and I used on that Mossy Meadow and just various greens, probably Granny Apple, Parakeet Party. I'm going to set this one aside because it's going to be part of the prize drawing today. I'm giving away some things, you guys. Okay, so let's set that off to the side. You have to comment, though, to get entered into the prize drawing. You can also take, and, well, I'll bring that one in later. Okay, you can also take and just do white, like leave your debossed image or embossed image white and go over it with color. So I took and embossed the Splash Stripes and Splatters Splash Look embossing folder to this one, and did one side with Azure Afternoon on the top, and also did another one. So these are like, this was my failed one because I let the ink sit too long and it was completely flat on top and it soaked in. So that was one of my first splash ones. But again, if you tilt it just slightly and you bring it across, you're gonna get that background to really pop out. I didn't do this side, but I did two separate ones and then put the ink across one side and put the ink across the opposite side. And those are the looks that you're gonna get. I love this splash one, so pretty. Azure Afternoon was the blue on that. This one here, another white debossed image. I'm sure it would look different if we were to, oops, if we were to do the other side, like if we were to put ink on this side, but I did not. This is using a new one called Dotted Circles. And look how huge this embossing folder is compared to, let me bring in this one. These are our biggest right now that we currently have. So look at that. Very big embossing folders coming our way. You can do nice large pieces with that. So that's Dotted Circles, Summer Splash, new color. And that one is coming also on May 1st. That is this pad right here. You're gonna love that new color, you guys. Okay, and then with this one, I also used Summer Splash across the surface afterwards, but I did color first, but I added it on with blending brushes and daubers. You can use daubers. Daubers are, sorry, I'm reaching across the screen here, you guys. Daubers are these fun little guys, okay? They look like this. I have them in my handy little holder from the Country Hive. Thank you, the Country Hive. The Country Hive you can find a link to on my favorite extras also. But I used the dauber for Peach Pie. And I used Peach Pie on this. You can see I daubered it there because I didn't have any more blending brushes in hand. I mean, I could clean one off, but I don't want to. So I used Peach Pie, Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Lemon Lolly, Parakeet Party, and all the other colors I added with blending brushes because I thought it was a smoother transition than the daubers, but that's how I added the color. And then I went over in Summer Splash. And with, oh gosh, those are fun. Okay, we'll add that. Okay, and then Summer Splash, I tried to add into the debossed areas with the daubers, but the daubers don't have bristles on them, so they didn't get down in there. And that's why you might want to first add your color and then emboss. That's what I did with the last one. I added the color first all over to this side, and then I embossed it, and then I added the Summer Splash on top because it was such a hard time getting that color in there. Let us put this card together quickly. So for this, we need our card base. We need our trimmer. We're going to trim this up real quick. We're going to bring it down to 4 1/8 inches. And I think I'm going to trim this side instead. You get to choose. Have a nice sharp blade on your trimmer because your embossed images are going to, you know, kind of put a little bit of stress on your cutting blade, right? It's going to say, hey, wait a minute. Oh, ouch, ouch, you know, so just kidding. They're not going to talk to you. But you'll want to make sure that you have a nice sharp blade so it slides right through. I've got a 1/2 sheet of basic white cardstock here. I'm going to use my bone folder that was gifted to me by Mary Jo Snyder. Is she watching? Thank you so much, Mary Jo, for the gift at On Stage. And then we've got our layer that we can add on. I'm going to bring in my little Tombow glue here and my purse holder. I have a new Tombow glue holder from the Country Hive. It's a purse. Super cute, you know, for those of you that like to collect purses. Here is a nice name brand purse, the Country Hive. Super stinking cute. I just love it. And what you do is you put your glue in there so that it's upside down and it stays nice and fresh at the top. We're going to add this to the front, and I'm going to peek at my finished card here. I'm going to add it in this direction, like that. And it fits right in the frame of my card-based piece there. Then I'm going to take some beautiful sheer ribbon in the Bubble Bath color, and just keep in mind that this pack of ribbon is leaving us too. This is it's got 3 colors in it. It's got Azure Afternoon, that beautiful blue that you saw in the splash folder. It's got this color, which is Bubble Bath, and then it's got the Lemon Lolly yellow. It's one of my favorite packs of ribbons because it's got just a light silver thread on each side. So you have that hint of shimmer without adding embellishments to your card. Like, you don't have to have any extra little doodads. You know how we love to add embellishments? Although Bling Bling Crafter would probably add a little bit more to this, but I'm going to go with that as my shimmer. And on my original card, I did a bow instead, but I just wanted to show you how quick and easy this card can come together. We're going to grab that black again because we've got a blackish background, and we're going to ink up our stamp that says Best Wishes. We're going to stamp it down onto a scrap of basic white. We're going to punch it out with our 2-inch circle punch. Center it. Oops. Like that. And then we've got our die cut layer that we just did at the beginning of the video, our 2-inch circle punch, and we're just going to layer those all together using our Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. Make sure that you don't put the glue right up to the edges because those are little slit marks, like the glue will seep through, just so you know. All right, and then this one goes on top of that. It's a circle, so it really doesn't matter where it's going. You have some wiggle room because you're using glue, so you can kind of maneuver those until they're right. You can bring in your dimensionals. Now on a card like this, I could bring in my black dimensionals, and I have used up all of my larger ones. They come in a combo pack, and so you can grab your black dimensionals, and then they won't, like, nothing will show. It's so cool. Like, when you look at the side of the card, you won't be saying, oh, I see how she did it. It'll be a secret because your black dimensionals will really hide underneath the black and against a black background. So that just sits like right here, making sure your Best Wishes looks nice and straight. Adjust your ribbon, open it up, take your So Happy to Celebrate You image. Again, these are from Layering Leaves. It's a stamp set that I helped to create, design I should say, when I reached my $1 million in sales a couple years back. Layering Leaves, gotta love it. I do. All right, so there's that. I'm gonna put these stamps over here so I don't get ink on anything, and that is my finished design. This one I added a little bit more black over the top when I was done because I wanted it to really pop. I would love it if Stampin' Up! Came out with a foam pad in black. Wouldn't that be amazing? But right now they don't have that, and the other one makes, you know, kind of that little, you can see the textured look as it's going across. So there we go. Beautiful. With a bow, without a bow. We're moving on. Let's go on to the next one. All right, we're going to take our embossed, already pre-embossed layer here. This is the embossing folder called Fern, the Fern 3D embossing folder. It's pretty cool, you guys. So it has this look of ferns that are layered and kind of going in, you know, deeper or further back in the distance. We have 2 sides. We're going to use the more debossed side, although I've seen videos where this one looks really great on either side. So we're going to grab our inks, and this time we're bringing in Daffodil Delight, Parakeet Party, Granny Apple Green, and we're bringing back Lemon Lolly. Let's start with our lightest. I'm going to grab my Lemon Lolly. I label mine, you guys. My little labeler is listed in my favorite extras too, just so you know. There were too many supplies to put in the description of the video. So if you go to my favorite extras, you are going to see these things. Now I'm really going to press hard into the outside tips of some of these fern leaves here. I just want that Lemon Lolly to really pop on the ends of those leaves. Let's see here. I'm going to check to see if there's any more ends that are dominant. Here's one. And there's one. Okay, so we've got those areas emphasized. Let's just do that just for balance. All right, next we're going to move on to Daffodil Delight. So we're going from light to dark. We're going to grab our Daffodil Delight with our Daffodil Delight assigned blending brush. We had only larger blending brushes for the longest time, you guys. And so the smaller ones literally just came out. And I'm just adding touches of yellow here and there just to give a little bit of sunshine, maybe peeking through some of those leaves. All right. Alrighty. So just the yellow might even get covered up. This is a duller yellow. It's not so sunshiny, but it's a good yellow, a nice strong yellow, a warm yellow. And it might completely disappear. We'll see. Next one, Parakeet Party. Now we're going to go mostly onto our leaves with Parakeet Party and with our Granny Apple Green. On an embossing folder like this, it's actually quite beneficial to just go ahead and have the larger blending brushes though, because you're going over the whole surface, because there's leaves everywhere. There are leaves literally everywhere, just layered on top of each other. It is a really cool embossing folder. So we're just going close to where the Lemon Lolly was sitting. So I'm trying to meet the Lemon Lolly with the Parakeet Party color. And then I'm just kind of giving some green here and there as well, just to kind of make that light green show up in other places. Oh, there's a good area right down here. And of course I stuck my thumb in the ink. At this point though, if you press your finger down in any area on your embossed image, it's okay, because this is just gonna be a mess first. You want it to be a mess. You need to try the blending, Julaine. Yes, you know what it is? It's kind of like when embossing folders or punches debut. It's one of those things that once you do it, you're going to be addicted and you're going to use them all the time. We have the last brush. Where did it go? I have it somewhere. My Granny Apple. Oh, here. It's right here. My Granny Apple Green. It's slightly darker, so it kind of blended into my table. And we'll go over all the other areas that still look kind of whitish without kind of covering too much of the areas that we've already got in there, but we want to get rid of any white. Okay, all of this. And this looks dark. It looks almost like Mossy Meadow right now, but it's not. Mossy Meadow's deeper. It's just because we're really pressing that ink into it, and we're not doing that careful, rub some off to the side kind of technique. We're not worried about that on this one. This folder is just going to get splotches of color everywhere. You know what another good folder would be to use, you guys, is that one that's in the online exclusive with the leaves. I didn't pull that one out and try it, but I can imagine that you can add the color in the similar way where you just kind of don't care and you're not careful and you just splatter it everywhere, right? Okay, I think I've got my colors on there and it looks like a complete mess. Yay! Introducing Mossy Meadow. Mossy Meadow is going to be the ink that we pull across the surface. So let us get that ready, get our tissue in hand, and clean up some messes here because we're going to keep going. Let's bring in this paper just because I don't want this to get too messy down there. Okay, so here we go. Flipping it over and swipe. Already, you guys. Oh, Kathy, thanks so much. She said she shared twice over. You've already shared this twice. That's how much you like the video. I appreciate that so much. And Cindy Howard says, Rachel's being messy. I am, but I have a tissue. My hands aren't too bad today. I'm learning. Look how gorgeous that is, you guys. Is this amazing? So yes, the color that is in the indented or debossed areas of this embossing folder is staying. It's still appearing. And you can even see the depth still of the embossing folder. Like, look at the leaves here. This leaf still looks like it's on top of that one. It's crazy cool. And this is the point in the video where I tell you that I love this look so much. And I know you guys know I love leaves, right? Layering leaves, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, that's so cool. But in our bathroom, our second bathroom that we had redone because we did some remodeling a year or so ago, our second bathroom has a wall with rainforest ferns, and it has this look. Like the background is blackish and the leaves just pop out with their bright green. It's a whole wall, but it's framed like within a door, so it looks like you're walking into the rainforest. If we had a bigger bathroom, it would really look much better because when you're in there, you can see that it's wallpaper. But oh my gosh, I love that. Now this one you could do with a black embossing, black on top, but I kind of like the look of just the deeper green. I went with this first because of our bathroom and the really, really dark background, but I'm liking this a lot more. And I think I was heavy on the ink there. Did you guys see that? I probably could have been lighter, but I let it sit. So that might be the side of the paper that we trim off first. Let us pull that off when we cut. Let's grab our trimmer. We're going to trim this down to 5 1/4 inches tall, and then we're going to trim off 2 pieces. One that is 2 inches and another that is 2 inches, like that. So these pieces, you could literally use these for other cards too because they're still so pretty, right? And you can feel them. They're cool. Keep these together. Let's grab our layers here. We've got some layers that I've already pulled aside. We're gonna add this piece. And I think glue is best for this. I mean, you could use seal or tear and tape or whatever, but the glue can get down into the crevices. We're going to add this here so that it is mounted and the right edge is lined up with the right edge of the black. So the black is 2 1/16 inches by 5 3/8. Let's do this other side here. This is where you want to make sure that your papers are coming together in a puzzle piece fashion. Same size black here, and my puzzle is going to go together well. So now I'm lining up the left edge. The left edge with the left edge so that we see a small, thin black border all the way around. This is ready to go on. This is ready. Let's layer these. These are going to get layered up. This one's going to go on top. Oh, I forgot to stamp this. Oh, and I picked it up just like I would with seal adhesive. Lovely, Rachel. I forgot to stamp. We have to stamp this. Let's grab our stamp, Best Wishes, and our black ink. Ink that up. Stamp it down in the middle real carefully like that. Put that aside for now. Now we're going to take and we're going to mount this onto our Mossy Meadow circle. Oops. Come on. 1, 2, 3. And you could use black dimensionals here too because, oh, there's the other one. Because you have dark cardstock here, you could totally use black between. I'm just going to put those together like that so you have a little bit of a shadow. Then let's pull in our base. And for our base, I'm going to actually prepare this for you together. So we've got our 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Are we too close, by the way? Should I zoom out? A little bit. Okay, so we're going to zoom out. Can you see it better? Hopefully. We're going to cut our cardstock in half in this direction. We're moving the edge to our 5.5 inch mark on our trimmer, making sure this is flush. Grab our dark blade and slice. Then in this direction, we're going to score at 2 1/8 inches, making sure everything's lined up and straight. And then we're going to pull our trimmer out of the way. And you're like, what? Wait, what? Yes, we're going to pull it out of the way because you're going to get a much better alignment if you do the other fold by hand. So here we're making like that cupboard door type of fold. We're going to bring this one in. We're going to meet those two edges together. We're going to press down slowly and then bring our bone folder in. Yes, yes, yes. Now we can take and we can add these to our panels on the front, lining up with the edges where our card opens. Can you see that there? So they're lined up here, and you can see a slight little hint of mossy meadow green on that side. And this one will go right there. So it won't really be obvious that there's a door there. Got to thank Amanda Martin for this sketch challenge that she had for our team last night. This card is in alignment with the sketch challenge. Thank you, Amanda. And any of our team members that are watching right now, I bet you recognize the sketch challenge. So we've got our little cupboard door look here, 2 panels of fun paper. The inside we're going to stamp with our black again. Pull the ink or the stamp image in. These images are now coming from the Unbounded Love Stamp Set. We'll stamp that down here. I am really rattling off a lot of supplies today, you guys. Sorry about that. This is a video where you may have to watch it a couple times because I cannot list all the supplies. YouTube won't let me in the description. So, all right, and then we'll add this to the inside of our card. Just a thin layer of white. Open this up, lay that in here. This piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. We'll close that. We'll take our band that is 1 inch by 11 right now, but we really don't need all of it. And we're just going to start in the middle here, and we're going to wrap to the back, and then we're going to wrap back around to the front, and we're going to trim it off with our scissors. Okay, and that's all you need, just a little bit, probably like 10 inches. And I wrapped it kind of firm. When people do belly bands, sometimes they make them too loose and the belly bands fall off. You want to have it somewhat firm because you can always bend the card a little bit. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. You can always bend the card a little bit to make sure that it is going to be able to come out. So I put a little bit here so it's right up to the edge, and then I connected it, and we're connected in the front. Yes, we are, because we can take and put this over the top of the seam and it won't show. So we're going to add that with a little bit of seal going right through the middle. And if you want to, you can take and place your piece there so that you know about how wide to go with your glue or adhesive. Then you add this right to the front, making sure not to wiggle too much up and down because you don't want your glue to come outside of the border. We're just pressing that in place real quick. I have a few more embossed samples that I want to show you that are like cheats, all right? Okay, so we got, oops, I'm going to shift that if I can still, because I noticed it's not centered on the sides. There we go. All right, so here is the finished look. What I did with these fun little accents, they are called adhesive back sparkle gems, and they come in gold, silver, or clear, and then black. I put 2 black ones here that are larger, and then I took 2 smaller ones, and I used my blends markers, my Parakeet Party Dark, and I colored on them and added 2 right there. So we have these light green little sparkles there. And of course, when you open it up, like I told you, you're gonna bend the card just a little bit. You just have to bow it a little bit, and then you can slide it off. And that way your belly band won't be having issues with sliding up and down the card when it's closed. So we'll get this back on like that. All right, let me show you some other samples, and then I'll show you the finished cards. Oh my gosh, we're at that hour again. I talk too much. Rachel, I talk too much. Okay, paper. We have some pretty designer paper coming in to play also on May 1st. And again, if you don't want to wait, starter kit in April. Okay, so here we go. Thoughtful Journey designer paper. Take a peek at the beautiful designs. Now, some designs you can even use the backs of with this technique. That one would be perfect. I mean, all of these, right? Oh my gosh, like that one. So these back sides are perfect for this technique. I took this one, in fact, and I used that design. Now it was maybe a little bit too much going on, but I used the embossing folder called Cane Weave. This is the Cane Weave embossing folder. I wanted just a peek of the design to show through on the front. You kind of get this look that, you know, you're looking through a fenced area or something into a scene, right? I mean, it's hard to see, but it's got that fun little layered look to it. So all I did was take this paper, I embossed it, and I brought early espresso ink over the top. That's all I did. Super simple, quick way to do the blackout embossing technique with already pre-colored papers. This is the flip side of it. Not as cool, I guess. All right, then another example would be this one here. Hang on. I used this paper that's on the top here, and I turned it this way. I know it looks more like a scene this way, but I just wanted the color this time. So I picked a less detailed image, and I used the dots from this one called Basics Embossing Folder. It's a 3-pack. It has these little fun dot pieces, kind of a scratched out look, and then this, I don't know, kind of like little flowery. I don't know the names of all of these designs, but just really cool designs on those. And of course made the debossing go in, right? So that when I was done, I could take and put Pretty Peacock, so that dark colored ink color that's like one of the complementary colors in the pack. Like this is a color that's listed and it shows up here. So I did that all the way across and I got that fun design. And then this one I thought was kind of cool with our stargazing paper. So we have the stargazing paper, and you could really do either side, right? So I did. So this is the front side. This is the embossed side with Blackberry. Did I use Blackberry Bliss? I want to say I used Blackberry. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. I think it's Blackberry Bliss ink on top. And then this is Summer Splash on the back side with the green. It's just fun to play around and see what you can come up with. So let's pull in some of these papers. Let's pull this away because it's distracting. We have prize time coming up. I'm trying to think if there wasn't anything that I didn't share with you. Country Hive just released the purse. They still have Easter eggs. They still have a lot of those cute little Tombow glue holders that you'll want to check out. So make sure that you shop today. And then let's just bring in these fun embossing folders here. Just some fun designs. Sorry, I got some scraps going on here. I love these blue ones. Oh my gosh. Oh, so fun. And then we have the other two finished cards. Hang on, where did they go? We got to pull in the other two finished cards. Let's tuck those under here. Here they are. Okay, so there we have our finished samples to peek at with the blackout embossing look. So fun. I talked about last chance list. The sale prices start on the 9th, and that's when you'll see a category in the online store for that. But the lists are available now from my blog post, so you can visit my website and, oopsie, there it is. You can visit my website, click on blog, scroll down, and click on last chance lists, and you can access all of that. New products coming into play. Just lots of fun stuff's happening, you guys. I am so stinking excited about all the fun stuff that is happening with Stampin' Up. We got new stuff that we can't even mention yet that's coming because we don't know what it is specifically. It's just going to be a fun time ahead. I hope that you stick with Stampin' Up! Products. Let me go to prizes now. So we have prizes from last time, which were basically a selection of 6x6 designer papers from a pack that I have. And I've thrown in some new papers in there. And we have a couple winners. Actually, one of them I could not draw, and I forgot to ask Trisha to help me out with that. So maybe, if you have time, Trisha, I'm sure you don't. You know what I can do? I can go to my blog post and I can draw, and then that'll just make you guys want to go there anyways, right? I'll list the winner from YouTube, from the After Live YouTube comments from last week. I'll list that in my blog post. So you'll want to visit back there and take a peek at that. But I'm going to share with you right now our Facebook Live winner. And here's my email address. You'll want to reach out to me at my email address. Hang on a minute here. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so congratulations to Mary Kay Prager Wolfgang. You are the After Live or During the Live winner, because on Facebook we don't know what's After Live and what's not After Live. But congratulations to you. You are the winner of that little assorted pack of 6x6 paper. And then again, the YouTube After Live commenter, I'll have to draw after this because technology-wise, it wasn't working for me. You guys know how that goes. Let's go back to the desktop and we're going to take a peek at to see who Trisha has been picking here off to the side. Oh, I got to tell you what the prizes are. I thought I did, but I didn't. Basically, you get a choice of embossing folders. So we will whisk this out of the way. I'm giving up this one. I'm so sad, but it is the Stripes and Splatters 3D embossing folder pack. Embossing folders, even though they're used, I only use them myself, so I don't like have other class people using them. They're in very good condition, so it's like new, except they're just not in that little plastic folder. Eucalyptus embossing folder plant packet here. There's 2 of those. Then I've got one of these. It's twisted rope. I can only imagine the fun designs that you can come up with twisted rope. That one has a nice depth to it too. I haven't done this one yet. This one, and there was another one that I listed. Oh, the leaves. There's so many 3D embossing folders. And then the other one is basically a tailored expressions simple storage. So those are the choices for the winners. And Trisha Josephs has called out the winners. I just have to wait for them to come onto my screen. Christine Blackburn and Desert Deb. Desert Deb, that's cool. I love that name. So reach out to me at my email address, stampyourartout@comcast.net, if your names were called out. I'll try to catch Trisha's comment and tag that one on the screen here. It's not coming up yet. I need a bigger iPad or something. Where is it? New comments. Yeah, the YouTube ones are not coming up yet. It's all Facebookers. Can demonstrators order? Yes, on the 2nd, all these things that I'm showing you that demonstrators, demonstrators have in their hands, these are going to be available for pre-order period for current demonstrators that didn't attend on stage. So if you did not attend on stage and you're salivating over these new products, you're going to be able to get your hands on them come April 2nd when we do our pre-order. So again, if you're not a demonstrator, you can get these things in your kit in April, or you could get the kit now and then do a pre-order in April. I'm trying to find, yeah, Trisha's comment is not coming up, but hopefully you heard the names. So weird how my iPad works. And then make sure you reach out to me at that email address to claim your prize. Next week's live will be on, I have to pull up my calendar because you know what I didn't do too right before this is I didn't print off my little script. I've been just winging it. Like all my words are just, I'm just winging it today. Wednesday, April 3rd is the next live, 11 a.m. Central Time, and it's going to be my blog hop week, I believe. I'll have to double check, but if it's our blog hop week, then we are featuring a new suite. Well, it's not a new suite, but Nature's Sweetness, and it is so, so, so pretty, you guys. So we're featuring that one in our blog hop. I'm thinking it's next Wednesday. So we will hopefully see you next week for that. That's it. Happy Easter to all of you who are celebrating. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Trisha, for sticking with us so long. And take care, everyone. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.